Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We're just going to wait a few more minutes as people start to trickle in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Just as a quick reminder, there may be times where a question or a poll is brought up. You will be able to see that using the Lightning tab or within the chat section. In case it pops up, I'll mention it on the screen as well. And again, just as a reminder, we'll go ahead and get started in just one more minute, and then we'll get started. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started now. So first off, thank you all so much for joining today. My name is Sarth. I am the Director of Operations here at SoftArt. And to go ahead and jump right in, I'm going to go over the agenda, give a little introduction to the other speaker today, and discuss what we'll be going over. So we're going to go ahead and get started with an introduction into who is SoftArt. Because of course you joined the webinar today. You also want to make sure that the presenter, the company is educated enough to speak about the topic. And the little blurb on top, as well as what I will speak about, will kind of mention how experienced we are with both QuickBooks and NetSuite. We originated as users for QuickBooks and migrated our accounting to NetSuite as well. We've also migrated many. It would be completely wrong to say that there are no cons associated with NetSuite, and it's all pros. So we are going to give you more of an impartial overview of the benefits and disadvantages to both solutions. And we'll be speaking about some of the trends that we've seen today when it comes to utilization with QuickBooks and how businesses are having issues and difficulties with managing their accounting software and capabilities from there. We'll then jump into how NetSuite is able to challenge those issues that are addressed by QuickBooks and what it does to counteract them. And lastly, jumping into what does the next step look like? Now that you've understood NetSuite and QuickBooks and understood the challenges, what is the process from here? So just as a reminder, if at any time you wanted to book any time to speak with any one of our team members, If you scroll down on the screen, you'll see a option to book a consultation with SoftArt. You just go ahead and click that and you'll be able to schedule a time to meet with one of us. Perfect. So jumping right in, we are going to speak a little bit about, like I said, SoftArt. So we are a vendor agnostic ERP and database specialist. So what that means is that we are not bound to any one specific ERP solution, and rather over our 18 years of experience with ERP and database support, have partnered up with a variety of different ERP providers, including, of course, Oracle EBS, NetSuite, Dynamics 365, SAP, SysPro, Epicor, Infor, really any ERP that you can think of. SoftArt has not only the resources available, but experience with supporting and implementing that ERP. So the biggest difference is that rather than us fitting a ERP to you, we fit you to the best ERP there is out there. So finding and selecting that best fit that will then allow you to overcome all of your challenges and issues faced today with the best available ERP that is out there. And I'll speak a little bit about that on the next slide as well. But our experience, we've had clients in a variety of different industries, so we're not specific to anyone, including and not limited to manufacturing, financial services, insurance, nonprofits, electronics, third-party logistics providers, things like that. So we really have an all-encompassing of working with a variety of different partners in different industries. And we've been doing this again for over 18 years. We were founded back in 2003, but our team has over 30 years of experience with ERP. So that's a little bit about us and who SoftArt is. Now jumping into our services, because there's a variety and plethora of services that we're able to offer. So starting about ERP selection, because that is the most relatable to what we're discussing today. So with ERP selection, we not only, as mentioned, understand your current pain points today, your requirements, your budget, your time frame, what is exactly that you're looking for, to then find that best fit ERP. Start negotiating with the licensing provider, so with that solution provider, to get you the best discounted rates, doing catered demos, doing deep dives to make sure that this solution is the best fit. And then we can pass forward to the implementation, which then we would prepare a scope of works, understand your timeline, and work with you to implement it on whatever time frame you'd want, and ensure that you have a successful implementation and use afterwards. We also focus on ERP migrations, whether that be migration to the cloud. There are a lot of businesses out there that are still running on-premise or legacy applications that need to be upgraded and then migrated over to the cloud, especially in today's environment with the remote work and COVID. That cloud use has definitely increased and become more of a hot topic in today's IT environment. But also migrating from a different software, such as QuickBooks, to a specific ERP, such as NetSuite, Dynamics, many of the ones I've mentioned in the past. Because of, again, the environment today, our business is primarily focused on remote support. However, we are not limited to that. We often staff individuals as well as provide on-site support for any case need be. But majority of the business, and due to our 4 locations globally, we're able to provide 24/7, 365 remote support, so that there is no waiting period to get a response when you submit any sort of ticket, whether it be for training or an issue or just additional information or advice. Because we're also an ERP and database focused company, ERPs are all linked to a database, whether it be on-premise or hosted in a colo facility. We provide the upgrade, patching, and managed service around that as well, to ensure that your business has little to no downtime whatsoever, whether that be doing database compression, ensuring high availability, performance tuning, really making sure that you are leveraging your software as best as possible so that you don't have to worry about it and can focus on the bottom line. Lastly, the 2 points are, one, I've already spoken about, the staffing, whether it be remote or on-site, to provide full-time employees where you can eliminate the cost of benefits and worry about time off because somebody will be replaced in case of any scenario where someone's on vacation. And lastly, product development, which is both mobile applications as well as web applications, websites, And in certain scenarios where an ERP or software isn't a perfect fit, we're able to scope out and build a solution specifically to their core need. So this has been of interest a lot of times when a business is specifically looking for a small solution that is not as vast as many of the ones out there. We can take the time out, scope it out, and build a solution for them. So now I'll jump back to the agenda because that covers a little bit about SoftArt, who we are and our experience. And now I'll be passing the baton over to my colleague Verain, again, who is the Director of IT, who will jump into an overview of NetSuite and QuickBooks and its advantages.
Thanks, Art. Hi, everyone. My name is Verain, and I'll be taking you through the journey of understanding what is NetSuite and QuickBooks and the pros and cons of both. So let's begin by going through an overview of both the platforms to understand what they are and what they do well. This will be helpful for the people who have worked with either of these platforms but are unaware of the other, and also for the people who have heard of neither of them. So let's tackle QuickBooks first. QuickBooks is an accounting software, and it does it really well. It was founded in 1998, and it is one of the most affordable accounting solutions. And it has a user-friendly and clean-looking user interface. It's considered an entry-level solution which focuses on accounting only. Because of its low cost, the general trend with QuickBooks is that it has a higher adoption rate among young companies, which are in the beginning stages of its journey. It provides multiple deployment options, initially being launched for the desktop or as an on-prem solution, and eventually transition to the cloud as well. So let's understand NetSuite real quick. NetSuite is more than just an accounting software. It's an enterprise resource planning software, an ERP. It was founded in 1998 as well. It's a solution that was built and has grown on the cloud from its inception. It's widely considered one of the first cloud software providers of its time, and it was bought over by Oracle in 2016 to support its shift towards becoming more of a cloud software provider. Its modular ERP nature allows it to provide a lot more features than accounting, such as order management, procurement, inventory management, HR, and many more. And this is useful for the companies who would end up looking for more than just accounting as they grow. And it has a higher adoption rate among small to medium-sized businesses, all the way up to Fortune 100s, who are looking for a rapid growth in their respective fields. So let's go over the pros and cons of each. It's particularly important to weigh this before beginning the implementation of either of these platforms, because usually once an organization begins to incorporate them into their daily life, they'll be deeply ingrained into the software for years to come. So let's talk about the pros of QuickBooks. The first one being ease of use. So QuickBooks is an easy to use software to run basic accounting and financial functions such as payroll, inventory, invoice management with a clean user interface. This is particularly helpful for the individuals who are not tech savvy, as it requires a very minimal learning curve. The second pro of it being its price. So apart from being a reliable accounting software, it has a particular advantage when it comes to pricing, which is why it has a higher adoption rate among younger companies. QuickBooks plans are cheap, and the basic package can cost its cost compared to NetSuite is almost 1/10. Although you'll likely be paying more once you need more users, inventory management, and other key features. So while these 2 points do make QuickBooks an attractive software, it has a fair bit of limitations as well. So let's go through that. So the first one being limited functionality. So QuickBooks is focused on small business accounting, and its features stop right there. While it allows you to handle your payroll and file your taxes, it lacks functionality when it comes to reporting, such as financial forecasting, multi-business lines, project management. And this is a core requirement for most businesses to be able to grow. So businesses then start looking for other softwares to fulfill this gap, which leads to my next point, integration issues. When organizations start using other software caused by its limited functionality, Real-time integration between all the platforms become difficult. This often leads to different systems displaying different data, preventing you from getting an accurate look at your business. And without a full-time IT or an analysis team to monitor your data, you're setting yourself up for poor forecasting and management. The last con of its being its scalability and cloud limitations. So most small to medium businesses dream of scaling into larger, more global organizations. And while QuickBooks may be able to be sufficient for a young company, organizations quickly experience growing pains when they start to scale. New revenue streams, capital infusions, creation or acquisition of subsidiaries, and change to the business model are just few of the many instances we have seen that will lead to headaches in QuickBooks. And QuickBooks is available both online and in a desktop version. The desktop version is more comprehensive, but is less accessible on different devices, such as mobile or when you're out of the office. QuickBooks Online is more accessible, but its features have extreme limitations. They do not have a full-powered cloud-based option, which is a big turnoff for many. So let's talk about NetSuite real quick now. So one of its main pro being its advanced functionality. So apart from providing accounting features, NetSuite offers robust financial management capabilities. These range from customizable dashboards, workflows, compliance management, and forecasting. I mean, I could go on and on about these features that are extremely important, but these features are absolutely important and they give you that deep insight into the health of your organization. The second pro being its data integrity. So with NetSuite serving as an all-in-one solution, you'll have an easier time managing your data and keeping it clean. Unlike the messy integration that you would be required with QuickBooks and other softwares you would end up using because of its limited functionality, NetSuite would allow you for a real-time integration between your accounting, supply chain, inventory, financials, and you can be certain that the data is not being misreported or lost. And not only that, it also has one of the largest databases of third-party applications that can integrate with it, giving you out-of-the-box integration options, and it can be easily accessed natively from within NetSuite. So one of its best pros that I really would like to stress on right now is its customization. Every business has different objectives, and NetSuite makes it possible to customize your instance to meet all your needs. Not only can you control how the data flows between different departments, but you can have near total control over what can be seen and by whom. And this is an important requirement for most organizations. It allows for customized field, saved reports, templates which can be reused by your team, and custom workflows. All of this is really useful to tailor the platform to your organization's processes. Now, regardless of how high and mighty NetSuite sounds, it is not without its fair share of disadvantages. One of its first con being the financial commitment. I think it goes without saying that NetSuite is a more expensive commitment than QuickBooks because it has a larger concentration of business functionality within one platform. Though when you factor in the cost savings of having a single solution, along with not having to undergo an expensive integration process to get a clearer picture, the cost of NetSuite justifies itself. The second con of NetSuite being its implementation time. Since QuickBooks core competency focuses on just one area, it has a much faster implementation time. Whereas when it comes to NetSuite and its large set of functionalities, the duration to implement NetSuite can be 3 times longer and is often done in a phased manner to get a specific area of the business up and running and the relevant department for it trained. This can be a turnoff for younger companies eager to get started. Another con of NetSuite is its deployment options. So since NetSuite is a cloud-based solution for organizations that are wary of the cloud and looking for an on-premise solution, NetSuite wouldn't be able to deliver and fit into their criteria. I hope this introduction was useful to understand the core competencies of both the platform. Now I'll pass it over back over to my colleague Sart, who will take you through a deeper dive into the limitations of QuickBooks.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Ryan. I'm sure everyone got a good grasp of both NetSuite and QuickBooks as well as its pros and cons. So, jumping into the next section, we're going to be speaking about some of the headaches and common trends that we've seen in issues with QuickBooks. Now, I see on the comments below, or the poll rather, that there are two of you guys using QuickBooks today. I'm sure the others have some experience or knowledge about QuickBooks, but as mentioned before, SoftArt has both been a user of QuickBooks in the past and been focusing on migrating businesses away from QuickBooks. We've mapped out a variety of different issues that are common amongst most businesses, and then what to look for when you are starting to outgrow QuickBooks overall. So, some of the main issues with QuickBooks and the most pertinent is the reliance on manual processes. Now, many businesses are manually closing, manually pulling reports, having to do revenue recognition with banks, both on a manual basis, as well as certain project accounting. If you want to see how a specific project, how a specific function of your business is doing, let's say your business, just like SoftArt, has a variety of different services and offerings. You want to see the success of one specific offering. QuickBooks is not meant to be easy in terms of pulling those results. They are going to give you an overall basic bookkeeping and accounting view, and it's more focused around the payroll and the small business operations, not so much when you're having multiple different sources of income streams, as Varan had mentioned. Now, these manual processes are what cause a lot of businesses to leverage different solutions and use Excel and calculate these reports and your forecasting for the future manually, whereas your accounting software should be a weapon in your arsenal to help you move forward, to assist in growth, not hold you back and cause you to do a lot of manual entry. Now, another point that we've seen and is very common as well is that QuickBooks does not have a robust reporting capability. The visibility to drive your decision making is core especially when it comes to executives trying to determine whether or not we should continue forward with this solution or add in a different income stream or add different products depending on the industry. Regardless, you need to know how your business is doing today in real time. And QuickBooks does not truly focus on that. It was made more so at the end of the month. What invoices do we need to send out? Who do we need to bill? And then pull those reports. Whereas many solutions today are able to give you key performance indicators and benefits right out of the gate as soon as you log a snapshot of how your business is doing today. You want to be able to see what invoices are unpaid, what clients have not ordered this past month, things like that, to really be able to drive your decision and then help make executive decisions like, hey, let's run a new marketing campaign because it seems that our income stream for this one revenue is going low. So having that reporting and visibility is key for a business, especially when it comes to accounting, because everything is, of course, linked back to a cost. Now, another pain point is that there is no access to data from multiple locations. Now, this is a huge pain point for businesses that are looking to grow and really stresses how QuickBooks is targeting these small startups, small businesses. Most businesses, as they grow, they tend to expand, add additional employees, open up new locations, whether it be regional, national, or global. As an executive, as a CFO or controller, or anyone on the accounting base, you want to be able to see how each location is doing, pull the profit loss, pull the general ledger, be able to see what assets are there, what's their depreciation value, and how it is affecting your business. Now, QuickBooks does not have any capability to access multiple locations. You would have to, and that is based if your specific role has access to that location, to go into that specific location and pull those reports, but it would not be shared. You can't see a top-down view of, as an executive would, for all of your locations, what's the total profit loss? What are the assets do we have? How many employees and what are their costs? What are their benefits? All of that is more outlined by location and it has to be separated with QuickBooks today. So that is a huge pain point as businesses are growing and expanding their operations to multiple locations. And it goes without saying for every industry. Now, if you take, for example, a wholesaler, right? When you have a certain number of inventory that is outgrowing a certain warehouse, you tend to get another warehouse. Now, that warehouse has costs. They have their own vendors to get certain goods from because it's, cheaper in a certain area. All that has to be linked to an accounting software. And that software needs to work for you, not the other way around. And that's how QuickBooks is operating today. QuickBooks is also limited solely to accounting and basic bookkeeping. Now it has advanced further to include inventory management, but again, because it is targeting those small startups and those small businesses, its inventory management is very, very not as comprehensive. So essentially, your assets that are in a specific location, your hardware, is what it's going to capture for the inventory management. Outside of that, it is solely for basic bookkeeping, sending out invoices, and not even invoices that are recurring because they have to be manually sent out, and basic accounting. Now, everything as mentioned is linked to accounting. When you have a sales process, right, your sales rep is reaching out to potential clients or current clients as well. And they, let's say, get a order fulfilled or get an order completed. So they need to send over a sales order. Now, there's no automation. That sales order has to be replicated into QuickBooks. If that customer is not already within QuickBooks, if it's a new customer, not only does your CRM have updates on the customer and the sales order and what the process was, but now QuickBooks also needs to have that. And normally businesses look to integrate, your CRM, your inventory management, your warehouse management, and how you're operating your purchase order and sales order today to QuickBooks. But QuickBooks, as Vern had mentioned, has very little integration capabilities. You need a core IT team to constantly make sure that those APIs are smooth, that all transactions are not being repeated. And if you have a duplicate entry, you could potentially pay somebody twice and lose out on a ton of money, or charge someone twice and potentially lose a client. So that scalability to grow is truly not there, and it's very limiting. So those are some of the common issues we've seen with QuickBooks with a variety of our clients, as well as some of the stuff that we had personally seen ourselves. Now, businesses, of course, it's hard to truly capture when you are outgrowing it. So I've written down some common trends to show that you are now outgrowing QuickBooks, especially in today's environment as remote work is more there. People are able to dedicate more time to their business, and growth has been exponential for many businesses. Now, if your current business is having to integrate your QuickBooks with a variety of different systems, that is a easy start to say, okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit and look at why we are doing this. One, you have multiple invoices. You're paying for multiple different to manage one business. Now, one business should have one stop shop. They should go to one place, one vendor, especially if it's integrated and there is an issue with the transactional data being sent over. Let's say it's being duplicated. Where is that issue truly lying? Is it within the external software or is it within QuickBooks? And then not only that, but your team has to have the knowledge to fix that issue. Otherwise, there could be a ton of money wasted. And regardless, there's a lot of time that is now wasted towards that. And I'm sure that your resources that you're paying for, your employees, have better things to do with their workday. The other point is manual processes. Now, whether this be to manually enter data, such as that example for the sales order, having to input a customer, having to input the amount, exactly what is being sold, if it's an item that needs to be shipped, how many of those items, is it recurring? If your business is having to manually enter and key in these points, then it's time to look into other software that can automate all of that task. For example, with ERPs and specifically with NetSuite, from the sales order process all the way to the billing, there will not only be a workflow, but you can put in approvals within that. So it's automated, but then you still would want some revision, of course. You're able to do that. It would automatically send a sales order to the accounting, and then accounting can automatically invoice the customer depending on when the invoice date is, reconciling bank data. It's able to do with a very quick and easy click adjustment. If currently your business is also having difficulty knowing your real-time success, that point about mentioning the reporting and visibility to drive that decision making, if your business is struggling to understand what is our profit loss for this exact item, for this service, for this location, what is our expected forecast growth, how many employees do we oversee that we may increase, how many locations do we need? If your business is having struggle in any shape, way, or form, if the information is not readily available to you the second you log in, then it is time for looking at other solutions. Any software should work for you. If you have to manually key in or pull reports or export data, then it's not allowing you to take advantage of your time, and your time is worth much more than to understand how your business is doing. That should be given to you, and that's something, especially in today's environment with the technological advancements, there are so many ways that it can be automated. One point that we've seen a lot with businesses is they have QuickBooks and they say, our accounts payable team uses it, accounts receivable team sometimes uses it. They also use Excel. For our payroll, we use a different software as well. And then for reporting, we have a business intelligence tool for accounting. So if your company is using multiple different tools and the accounting is done outside of QuickBooks, and normally we've seen it with Excel, or sometimes even homegrown applications to fix a one need that QuickBooks may not have, then it also is another sign that you are outgrowing QuickBooks. It is not meant for your business any longer. Now, QuickBooks is a great solution, but I would say it's a great solution when you're first starting out. If your business is starting to grow and you're adding any employees, it's truly time to start looking elsewhere and to start having your accounting work for you. And lastly, having time and taking time to worry about the technology rather than focusing on your results. End of day, your business is bottom line. You're focusing on how can we grow, how can we expand, how can we get more revenue, how can we get more profit. If at any point you have to take time to fix an issue with QuickBooks, integrate it, to manually enter, that time is that wasted to grow your business. You're trying to see how your business is doing today rather than how you can grow the business. And that is a immediate sign that the QuickBooks software is no longer the best fit accounting software for you. So I think I've drilled on this enough already, and I'll jump over to the next slide. But this is an overview, again, for some of the common trends that we've seen with our clients as we migrate them to another ERP, and more recently, and especially in today's environment with cloud being the number one approach, is NetSuite. So migrating them over from NetSuite, these are some of the trends we've seen as well. So jumping into the next point is how NetSuite is tackling these points. And this is almost a one-to-one comparison. Because QuickBooks is recognized as a bottleneck for your business, it is limiting the growth that your business could be incurring. And of course, this isn't a case for every business that's out there. QuickBooks is one of the top accounting softwares out there because of its capability. It's still a great solution, but we are talking about growth here where QuickBooks does limit you. You in a one-stop shop solution that is your go-to for everything and can automate the task, that standardizes the approach. So if you hire someone new, they know exactly what to do from the get-go with a workflow chart in front of them. So jumping into some of the NetSuite advantages is that NetSuite drastically eliminates manual processes. Now, to speak about this, NetSuite has a suite success methodology. This is a standard industry trend as, again, Oracle has been around for so many years and focused on ERP and cloud. They have truly understood the specific workflows for industries that are common, and they've standardized that. So now there are pre-configured workflow, pre-configured approvals, pre-configured reports and KPIs and metrics for your specific industry. Let's say you're in a manufacturing industry, or if you're an accounting firm, there are specific SKUs available with NetSuite that will immediately start you from step 10. Whereas with any other ERP implementation, you have to customize and configure each and every module to make it the way you want it. NetSuite has those pre-configured reports and workflows so that all of this is already automated. Now we can customize further and make it more similar to how you're running today because not all businesses are the same. But from the get-go, being able to eliminate these manual processes is immensely valuable. And if you think about it from a general sale of goods type of business, going back to that example about the sales rep reaching out to potential clients and opportunities, sending over a sales order, an estimate, and then as soon as that's signed, it configures a workflow that it automatically notifies the accounting department that an invoice is needed to be billed. It automatically notifies your warehouse or inventory team that this item needs to start being picked, packed, and shipped based on these requirements. And then your sales team already has automated workflows to say, hey, this is the next step. We need to do a follow-up account to make sure that the customer is successful in the delivery and everything went smoothly. So all of these aspects are all pre-built and will allow your business to take advantage of these automation capabilities, especially when it comes to accounting. Invoicing is how you get the money. So if you can automate that task and it automatically has company imported and the information there's no need for replication and can eliminate that time wasted. Right out of the gate, just as mentioned with the Suite Success methodology, there are KPIs available on the dashboard, and it provides robust reporting that even enables you to forecast expected results based off a month of sales. So within a few weeks of your business utilizing NetSuite, you'll be able to forecast, hey, we need to order more inventory of spoons because we've completed our inventory halfway through last time. We're expected to do so this time as well, or forecast growth. And truly be able to see by location, by role, what the success is and the KPIs are from the accounting standpoint. And this does not only apply to accounting, it applies to all modules, but of course we're focusing on the accounting aspect here. And I'll be able to show that as well. Once I finish up this topic here, I'll jump into the NetSuite platform and I'll show you some of the ease of use that it has. It also is able to provide overall accounting and detail accounting by location. So as mentioned with QuickBooks, businesses tend to grow and expand and have multiple locations. Now, from an accounting standpoint, you want to see how each location is doing to determine whether you want to have some layoffs, whether you want to increase inventory, hire more people, have a new stream of revenue. Maybe you're having delivery by a 3PL, but now the business has grown so much you can buy a truck and do delivery yourself. So being able to see by location what the success is like allows you to make these key business decisions that can drive that growth. It also is able to show you a top down, so from an executive level to see the overall success of your business, and then modules as well as a variety of different roles. It is just making sure I didn't get connected. All right, I think I'm good. So it is extremely scalable for your business, and it's as easy as a drag and click, drag and drop, or point and click. So adding on additional features is very easy, and again, comes with those configured metrics, workflows, and reports to allow you to take advantage of them from day one. It is also scalable because many businesses today, let's say, for example, a business that is selling goods, maybe they're selling B2B right now or directly B2C by online, or they want to start getting into online and start leveraging Amazon, Shopify, eBay. E-commerce, for example, is one way that you can leverage NetSuite because it has that pre-configured capability to integrate with these different platforms and truly take advantage of that growth, where there's now your IT team doesn't need to get too involved because it's already configured for you. So it's truly able to scale for your business. And to go even further, it is multinational and global, and then it also is able to operate in different currencies. Let's say you have goods available in, let's say, for example, Canada, and you get it shipped over. Now they operate a different currency. QuickBooks is not able to accommodate to multi-currency, whereas NetSuite has that capability built in. So it's truly able to factor all of that in and allow your business to grow. And lastly, it's not restricted just to accounting, but incorporates all functions because everything links back to accounting. Everything has a cost associated to it, whether it be a time cost, an actual expense, a capital expense, or operating expense. Everything has a cost with a business, and that cost needs to be tracked and valued. And that's where NetSuite comes into play. Now, before I get into why migrate from QuickBooks to NetSuite, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You may see it spaz out just a little bit in the beginning, but I wanted to show you what NetSuite looks like when I speak about the reporting capabilities. So Varen, I'm not on that screen anymore. Can you just confirm once that my screen is being shared?
Yes, it is.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so right now I'm logged into a NetSuite demo environment for the SKU of Financials First. Now, this Financials First SKU is more likely than not for businesses that are using QuickBooks today, and that's the main reason they would like to switch. Now, of course, there's SKUs for specific industries such as manufacturing, warehouse distribution. If you're a service insurance provider, whatever the case may be, there's specific SKUs. But Financials First is the most accounting heavy SKU that's available for you. So now this is, as soon as I log in, this is my dashboard. I'm currently logged in as Catherine Glass, who is the administrator, so has full access to all the capabilities. But I could easily switch a role to go into a specific department. I can go as the CFO, the controller. I can choose accounts payable versus accounts. We want to look at expenses. You're able to do so. And from this period, we can change to, this fiscal year. And of course, this is a demo environment, so there may not be full data in here, which is why it shows 000. Pull that, and you can choose the date, the time frame. If it's for a specific subsidiary in particular, maybe you have a global customer, but a specific location only provides a certain goods to them, you can pull that as well. And it'll be able to show you a quick overview on the total and what the billing forecast is, and even show you the itemized goods of what were sold. Whereas QuickBooks may say purchase order 123 for $700, and you don't know exactly what's in that purchase order. Because NetSuite is an all-encompassing solution, you can even go ahead and click on this to see the item record for a specific item. And maybe the cost of this item now from your vendor you hear is changed. So now you need to adjust that, and the accounting department does so. They're able to truly be able to see all the details for a specific environment. So this is a brief overview of the capabilities, but there are so much that you can do within NetSuite. Fixed assets is a key portion. Financial planning and analysis is huge when you're trying to forecast growth. And these are all things that NetSuite is able to do and truly gives you that step up from QuickBooks today. So now why migrate from QuickBooks to NetSuite? Well, of course, there's little to no integration needed because NetSuite is going to be your primary solution. However, if you wanted to use NetSuite solely for accounting and use your other softwares as is today, NetSuite has APIs that are already there, and its open API infrastructure and ease of use makes it very accessible to integrate with other platforms as well. And that way, now we don't suggest this because NetSuite is supposed to be an all-encompassing tool. It is an additional benefit to what NetSuite has, but it's not necessary to do so. You're also able to automate those workflows and incorporate real-time data in the future. So these workflows will eliminate that manual processes, that time of that resource that's dedicated to address their day-to-day tasks. It is truly a one solution for your business operation. Over to getting the migration started. NetSuite and QuickBooks, the first thing we're going to do is, and again, this is not limited to SoftArt's approach only, this is how we go about it, any migration. But if you were to undertake this migration entirely yourselves, it would operate the same way. If you worked with a different partner, majority of the time, I would assume it would be the same, but I cannot speak to other partners. So with this migration, the first step would be to understand your current environment. And if we're speaking specifically the complexity of your current environment, how much data is in there? How many customizations have you already done? Have you integrated provide additional discounts and provide workarounds and additional customizations that may not be included within your current environment today? And then once we start negotiating the licensing for you is when we start scoping out the scope of work to prepare a document so that you know exactly what tasks will be done, what customizations are already mapped out, and what the solution overall is going to cost you. Finally, the last step is the sign off and the kickoff sessions when we get the project started. So this is again a basic overview, and of course there's going to be more in-depth during each bullet point here, and it is not a short process, but we can map it based on your timeline and we can expedite as much as you'd like. And that's the benefit of working with a partner. But again, this is less of a sales pitch, more of a educational webinar. So these points are how we suggest your business should get started. Now, as many of these points you can do yourself, you can do all of it yourself, or you can outsource a knowledgeable partner because you don't want to have the same issues that you're having today with QuickBooks. So that in essence covers the majority of what we wanted to discuss today. I see you guys have answered some comments at the bottom as well. So I love the interaction here. But overall, we have covered not only who is SoftArt, what is NetSuite, what is QuickBooks, the benefits and disadvantages of both solutions, understanding the trends that your business may be having today, as well as majority of the businesses out there, how NetSuite in particular handles those challenges and those issues today, and then what does it look like to get started. So I really wanted to jump and open the floor to some questions here. If anybody had any questions regarding what we've discussed, what the process looks like, or anything regarding to this webinar at all. So I'll open the floor to some questions. In I will also be Oh, I see the question's already live. So there is a question at the bottom. Would you consider upgrading? You can feel free to answer that. If you also scroll a little further, you can book a consultation directly with us if there is any question that you want to ask to the SoftArt team or any one of us, and you can schedule a time to meet with us. Now, I would like to just mention one point at the end is that this webinar was purely a basic educational one. SoftArt can truly advise and provide additional support on your specific use case in any time frame, whether you call us, email us, or schedule a meeting. We're able to provide more detail and truly show you the benefits of NetSuite against QuickBooks. So thank you all so much for joining. Both Rayan and myself will be sticking around for a little bit of time to answer any questions if there are any at all. But otherwise, I look forward to speaking to any of you soon. Thanks, and take care. And be like, To answer your question, we will be sharing this webinar on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to access it there. Once it is live, I would expect a day or two just to get it uploaded and edited, but we will be sending out a follow-up email regarding this webinar and how to watch it shortly after. Thanks. Hey, James. So I see your question regarding using QuickBooks today and looking for alternatives. So the process from consult to rollout really depends on your specific time frame. To give you an estimate, we recently undertook a nonprofit organization migration from QuickBooks and other legacy systems to NetSuite. And from the initial consultation to project sign off, took about 2 weeks because it was on an implemented time frame, or it was more immediate because of the current pain points they were having. So it truly depends on your resource capability. We can combine many steps into one, or we can stretch it out as much as you'd like, where some of our clients have, because of other obligations and projects come up, have stretched it out to a few months, and others have done it within a 2 week period, signed off, and we're actually able to get additional discounts based on their time frame. So it's really on a case by case. But I would, let's say we have 2 meetings a week to scope out. I would assume about 2 to 3 weeks to truly come back with a full scope of work of estimate. But if you say we want it in a week, I can assure you that we'd be able to do so. It really depends on your timeline. I hope that answered your question. And just to add a little bit of an extra point there, when you mean rollout, I was assuming project sign off. But if we're talking about full implementation and go live date, it also has another factor to consider as well, because it depends on the amount of data. The lengthiest portion of a NetSuite implementation is the data migration, because your current QuickBooks data, we need to discuss how much data we're going to be importing, how much of it we're going to cleanse and remove, and then from there how we're going to organize it within NetSuite and the different SKUs and the item numbers, vendor numbers, customer numbers, everything like that. But the data migration usually is the lengthiest portion, which I would say takes about 15 days. And then on the quicker side, with very low customization, I would say we can accomplish a NetSuite implementation within about 30 to 45 days. But the standard suite, what NetSuite practices, is on average 60 days. So I would like to say 60 days is a good number to go by for full go live and implementation. So to speak to Charles's point here, given our gold partnership with Oracle, how does that benefit the company he works for? So you can be guaranteed to be working with not only NetSuite certified implementers and delivery team, but also Oracle NetSuite or Oracle certified team of individuals that have experience in more larger ERP implementations. Our team is also qualified with a variety of different ERPs, so they have a lot of experience there. And then the biggest benefit is that because we are Oracle Gold partners outside of NetSuite partners, we're eligible for even further discounted rates on the licensing and are able to do an implementation at extremely competitive costs due to our experience and expertise in ERP implementations. So James, I would suggest definitely scheduling out a time for maybe, however much time, 15, 30 minutes, or even a phone call to either Charles, myself, Varain, or our marketing consultant, Siddhant, who are all available right now in the chat. And we can, just have a brief chat, nothing formal, just to understand what you're looking for here. Okay. So we'll be hanging on for about a few more minutes now until we see that no more viewers are in attendance. And then we will be sending out a follow up email to everyone in attendance today and discuss how you can obtain a demo specific to your environment, as well as potentially a free trial if that's a realm you wanted to go into. Hey, Nabilai. Also, to mention, if you are located in a different country, we have a few different numbers that you can call that may be within your specific range. We have a India location, a location in the United Kingdom, as well as Canada. So, in my follow-up email, I'll provide all that detail. But yes, you can reach out directly to Charles using the +1 extension, or call our company phone number, which is provided right there in the chat, and I believe Charles's extension is 106. So that may resolve the international calls as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this webinar. But again, thank you all so much for joining. We truly appreciate your time and the questions you guys have asked. And I hope you gained a valuable insight into the power of NetSuite. Thank you all so much and hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.